you guys want to share your name or share what you're joining, like where you're joining us from, shoot in the chat, give us a location, let us know where you're from. We love participation in this. It's really great. So if any of you guys are up for that, just drop a note in the chat and share a name and what city or state you're coming in from. And we'll be asking you to share a little more as we go through. So making this an easy one to start. And I think we're going to get going here in just a second. Okay. All right. So let's get started. Good morning, everybody.
Hey everyone, thanks for being here. I'm Jacob Tell. I'm CEO and co-founder of Aniricom. We're a boutique marketing firm founded 23 years ago here in Santa Barbara.
And I'm Mike Wald, Aniricom's Chief Marketing Officer.
So since 2001, we have served hundreds of brands across all sorts of industries: agriculture, cannabis, consumer packaged goods, and e-commerce, entertainment, fashion, festivals, film, food, health and wellness, high tech, music, municipal government, nonprofit, and sustainable brands.
Wow, that is a lot. Our small agency is partnered with every size brand, from household names and international corporations to startups and nonprofits. You name it, we probably worked with them. So let us know in the chat, what do you do? What's your business? Is it a nonprofit? Are you in a startup? Have you been long established? Is it 100 years old? Are you a coach? Share a little with us. It's really helpful.
And while you're sharing, I'll just add that no matter what size or stage of brand what size or stage the brand is that we work with, there's a common need to make smarter and more profitable decisions. And that's what we're here to help with today. We're all about taking action. So this is going to be a roll up your sleeves and take action kind of workshop. Be sure to download the workbook. We're dropping a link in the chat. You can either use it as a PDF or a Google Doc, and there's links for both.
So make sure to download that link here in a second. And we're about to dig into the main topic for today. But first, a reminder to please stick with us until the end of the call. There's a really valuable bonus that we wouldn't want you to miss out on. Plus, you're going to have a chance for some live coaching during the workshop. So while you're at it, go ahead and do whatever you need that will help you stay focused. Silence those notifications, close off any other computer tabs. Just really zero in with us here so that you don't get busy multitasking and miss any insights for your business. There is going to be a replay, but you won't get the live coaching. So what we're going to do first today is dig into this idea of positive disruption. What is it, and why has it created so much success for our clients? Then we'll get into some specific examples, sharing how real-world brands have used positive disruption to make those smarter, more profitable decisions.
We're going to look at 7 positive disruption strategies that we've applied over and over to help scores of clients and really see bottom line results, and how this goes beyond just profits. And this is where you get a chance for some live coaching and input. Another really important reason to stay on the call.
So like Jacob said, we've been helping brands in every niche and stage and size for over 2 decades. We've got so much good stuff to share with you, and we're going to teach you everything we can over the next 50 minutes or so that we have together here. We're packing this full of actionable info and steps that you can start taking literally right now, today, while we're on the call. And at the end, we promise to share how you can keep going down this path, including how to get support from us to implement these strategies with your own positive disruption roadmap.
So if you're here with us today, we know that, like us, we like to make good things happen, and that you're here to serve others. We also know that you can't do this work if your bottom line, whether it's income from sales or donations, isn't steadily increasing. And so to underscore this, if you're a nonprofit joining us today, know that all of the ideas that we share apply just as well in your efforts. It's about driving change, which is what nonprofits do by nature. So the first way that positive disruption supports your bottom line is to really make steady growth possible.
We're also going to show you today how you can build stronger connections that lead to loyalty, meaning repeat customers.
Positive disruption is also the best way to stand out or differentiate from your competition. And when you stand out from them, you will also pull ahead.
We could go on for a while because this short list only barely scratches the surface. But one other way this will benefit your bottom line is that thinking from a positive disruption lens, like the way that you look at the world and your business, will literally reshape your efforts so that your organization becomes more forward thinking and more customer centric. That's going to allow you to stand out in your industry.
So you're probably thinking, that sounds great, but will it work for me? After putting this into play for more than 20 years across brands and nonprofits of literally every size and stage, we know that this works, this will work for you.
So if you're here with us today, there's a reason. We know there are a million other things you could be doing at this minute. You've got calls to make, emails to answer, kids to tend to, pets to feed, but you're here with us. So there's definitely a reason. And here's some of the reasons why people just like you and businesses or nonprofits like yours decide to pursue positive disruption. Please let us know in the chat which of these resonate with you, or if there's other reasons why you're here today. Maybe you're looking for a powerful way to drive revenue, or a way to stand out from the crowded market. Maybe your customers keep changing preferences, leaving you in the dust of your competition.
Maybe you're having trouble keeping customers or getting repeat and lifetime sales. Or maybe you're looking to expand but aren't sure exactly how to do that in a way that feels like it has integrity and promise. Ultimately, the thing that all of these reasons have in common is that they're about your business or nonprofit going beyond just surviving. They're about moving into a space where you're thriving.
Whatever motivated you to showing up today, we want to repeat, you can do this. We're going to dig into the nuts and bolts of how positive disruption works, but first we want to show you what positive disruption can look like and make sure you can see yourself in the work, that you know how it can work for your brand, whether you're a solopreneur, small to medium-sized business, or a nonprofit, and it can also work whether you're internationally known or just starting to get a foothold in your local market. So let's take a look at some examples of real brands like yours that have had massive success using positive disruption. Proyo, this is our first ice cream client. Our job was to take them national against competitors who spent $1 million on marketing. It was our job to find a way for them to compete, and we discovered that all the other brands had focused their message on calorie count. They'd taken over an entire set of freezer shelves of the supermarket based on calories and grams of protein. And they all downplayed taste because none of their products tasted much like ice cream. But Proyo did. And using our positive disruption framework, we brought the conversation from customers back to flavor and built an entire campaign around first tastes with huge results. By following our positive disruption framework, we brought success to brands of all different sizes and across a lot of industries. Here's another example of a client who forever changed how bands tour and how concert venues support them.
So working with our good friend Jack Johnson and his team for over 20 years now has taught us the power of leveraging the relationship with fans to make positive changes in the world. Jack has always been about the environment and started multiple foundations and programs to support long-lasting, sustainable changes to the music industry. Most notably, his All-at-Once social action network that brought thousands of local and international nonprofits on the road with his concerts and tours. And because Jack's work in development of the green or eco rider for concerts and tours, he actually created behavior change in venues and in fans. So venues have adopted permanent changes to their facilities and infrastructure, such as installing water refill stations, changing their food sources, providing biodiesel fuel options, and upgrading waste management systems. His fans have also changed their behavior by bringing reusable water bottles instead of single-use plastic bottles to concerts. Jack also turned his tour into education for his fans, introducing them to nonprofit organizations, including Ways to Eat Local and Go Plastic Free. So this is a very powerful example of positive disruption, how it teaches that you can change your industry and your ecosystem from the inside out. Not only has this framework been successful for large brands, but it's also changed the lives of small and medium businesses, including solopreneurs.
We recently worked with an incredible therapist, working with her to change the way that professional high-performing women relate to food and suffer from eating disorders. Many out there struggle with what she has flipped to disordered eating, and we helped her fight back at the fad diets and nutrition scams that spam women all across the internet, especially those that are searching for a way to feel better and live healthy. So that was just one side of her positive disruption, but the story has a second side. Sometimes positive disruption is about changing an industry or how millions of people do business. And other times it's about the positive change you bring to your own world and ecosystem. This therapist we work with is now helping more women than ever before without taking time away from her growing family and self-care. This is the part of our work that disrupts the standard way of doing business when the job is all consuming and family comes second. So now you've seen some examples of positive disruption. And you may be wondering, okay, what exactly is positive disruption? So we break it down into two defining features.
The first is a critical piece that you're bringing a vision for impact to life. In many cases, this impact is either societal or environmental. And depending on your niche, the impact could be something more specific.
The second part of creating positive disruption is shifting the norms in your industry. This is the way you build your brand's value to the audience you serve. This is how you differentiate, and this is the part that's really outside the box.
So positive disruption can be summed up into these two very simple bullets. That's what it is. But how do you go about doing this? What are the steps that you take to move your brand, your business, your nonprofit in this direction? What we want to share next is the important part. What steps you can take to start your positive disruption? This is the system that we've created that you can use starting now.
So we developed a simple 7-step system to build positive disruption in your industry. If you haven't got your workbook handy, now is that time to grab it. Double click, open it up, have it ready to work in. We're going to put links in the chat again to make sure you can roll up your sleeves and walk away from today with a jump start in getting positive disruption in motion. We're going to go through each of these steps individually and do a little exercise for each one. And as we said earlier, this is going to be about catapulting you into action today. So make sure you got the workbook ready and let's dive in. There's a link in the chat just in case you missed it earlier. Also, here's another thing about positive disruption. It's never a one-person task. So we encourage you to share your thoughts in the chat. Make this interactive so that you and others get the most value of our time together. If you have questions or need clarification, don't hesitate to ask, because if you have a question, someone else likely does too. So here we go.
Okay, so step one is desire. So if we were to define desire, we would say that it's harnessing your ambition and determination. Here's an example that speaks to the element of desire. Airbnb was the brainchild of two guys who couldn't afford their rental fees on their apartment. They had the idea of sticking a blow-up bed in their living room and turning it into a rough and ready bed and breakfast. And then they invited others to do the same. So what was their desired disruption? They ultimately found that their big desire was to disrupt the hotel industry. So let's think about you. What do you desire to disrupt? You may already have this super clear in your mind, or this might be the first time you're thinking about it. So it's not perfectly yet formulated. That's okay. This is just to get the wheels turning, just to start to articulate what it is that you might want to change. What's the major challenge that you're trying to solve? The thing is that that you're helping people or you want to fix in the world.
Again, my wife, whose background's in teaching, often reminds me, it turns out that we grow and learn more when we participate in conversation. So do this work with us now if you can. When you have something, however rough, go ahead and pop it into the chat. We'd love to hear from you. And then, with this, once you have this idea in mind, right, you kind of have a sense of what do you desire to disrupt, give yourself a score on a scale of 1, currently not disrupting, to 10, you're fully engaged in disrupting this, this industry. Where are you now? Is your brand already making waves in the area, or are you at the starting gate? Maybe share this in the chat too, if you can, to help us have a sense of where everyone in the room is at their positive disruption journey. We'll give you a second for this one. That's great, Jen. Sustainability in the event industry. Love that. How do you feel like you're doing so far, 1 to 10? 5, fair, good. Great, Nicole. Working to disrupt the copywriting industry, specifically for entrepreneurs, really great. Oh, Dolphin, this is fantastic. 3 to 4. Cool. And the idea on this is not to point a finger, to be honest around it, right? The more honest and transparent we are about where we are, it gives us a better sense of where we need to go. It's great to see everyone's kind of starting in this. It's fantastic.
Awesome. We're going to look at the second step, which is impact. Impact is the positive change that you'll make. If we go back to the Airbnb example, you can see how desire and impact are different. Their desire was to disrupt the hotel industry, and their impact was helping millions of people to increase their monthly income and travel more freely.
Give me 1 second, guys, while I fix our camera. Hang on 1 second here. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Thank you. All right. Thank you guys for patience there. So here's another story. Blake Mykoski, founder of Tom's Shoes, started the company in order to put shoes on kids' feet so they could safely get to school with his 1-for-1 model. Buy a pair and then give a pair to charity. His desire was to disrupt the model for how businesses look at their bottom line. His impact was helping kids safely get an education and get to and from that education. So now your turn. What impact do you want to make with your disruption? Again, let's pop it in the chat here. Love to see, what you guys are thinking about and where you want to make impact, right? Some of you may have a specific impact goal that includes how many people or things you're looking to impact, or you may have a more general impact you want to make at this point. Or it might be unclear if you're just thinking into this for the first time. Feel free to share what you have, whatever that is. These are great. Really, really great here. John, thank you for sharing on that. Dolphin, I love this. Great point there, Jen. No, really, we've got some ideas in that too. That's a really fantastic point. We can all do better for our planet and better for the world around us, while running successful business, really making it a core part of it. That's what so much of this work is about, is just taking those necessary steps to be on it as a business and not just keep up with the status quo.
Okay, we're going to move on to the third step. This is sustainability. So sustainability is about, how can we incorporate sustainable practices into our business operations, but it really has two sides. There's the more and more common efforts to be environmentally responsible, and there's also how you develop a culture and practices that are sustainable for the people and processes in your organization. So a great example is the Santa Barbara Bowl. It's a world-renowned concert venue here in our own backyard in Santa Barbara. They're continuously on the lookout for ways to make the venue more eco-aware and friendly. So they've done things like installed water stations for fans. They've gone plastic-free at concessions. They offer reusable pint cups, use solar power to offset their electrical use. The list goes on. But there's a flip side to this. We've been a marketing partner at the Santa Barbara Bowl for more than a decade, and we've noticed another remarkable aspect of the nonprofit: how long their team stays aboard. The Bowl actively works to be a great place to work, and they have great retention with their staff. So for them, they approach sustainability both at the environmental level, but also at the human level.
Great point. So it's your turn. Where do you plan to integrate sustainability? Take a moment to jot this down and share it in the chat. And also remember, we're rating this score. Like, where are you at right now? Scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being no sustainability yet, 10 being fully sustainable.
Okay, we're going to move on to step 4. This is resilience. So resilience is really about how you develop the ability to adapt to changes and challenges.
Oh, hold on a sec. I
Oh,
want to read these sustainability
we
first.
have some great chat coming in here. We're going to
So
go back to sustainability. Step 3.
Doves here, sustainability, people's daily choices from cleaning products at home, single plastic use, helping individual perspectives change that they are part of the animal kingdom. I love that consistency. Really, really good. Thank you for sharing that. John's here on impact. Current system is broken for independent filmmakers, and it's getting more difficult to be sustainable since the market's getting crowded. 100%, right? Everybody with an iPhone is an independent filmmaker these days. So we get it. Nicole, looking to build sustainability in a few ways. One is literally helping not just entrepreneurs, but nonprofits who are helping the earth. Absolutely. Make your business more sustainable for a family. So really great points there. The people you support, your impact is not just what you do, but also that reflection in the people you support to make their impact. That's a really great point in this. It doesn't have to be your own, limits or resources. Who are the people you're helping make change? Oh, Jen, really good here. When I have clients that are building out multiple events, I start to forecast what we'll do across 4 or 5 events and store and reuse props. That is fantastic. Sustainability at its core, it's forethinking on it, it's planning on it, it's reuse of materials. Love that.
Awesome. Thank you for participating. They're really great. Okay, back to step 4. Again, we're on resilience. So resilience is really about, how you develop the ability to adapt to the changes and challenges. So we're going to share our own story here of Loto Studios. This is our own venue and event space in Santa Barbara. It was originally our agency office. When COVID turned it into a ghost town, we remained agile in the face of adversity and evolved it into a studio for COVID-safe live streams. In the past 2 years, we again evolved the space into the vibrant co-working, production studio, and venue event space it's known for being today.
We're coming to you guys from right now. So resilience for us in this case was shifting some of our resources, this big space we're in downtown Santa Barbara here, to meet the community needs at the time. This also gave us another income stream, which can be a really key strategy for building resilience in your business, not being reliant on one form of income, one form of donation or support. Be diversified. Okay, it's your turn. How is your brand or business or nonprofit resilient? This again could be one where you've already invested in years of effort and now you're in kind of a refining optimization stage. You have multiple lines of business, you're picking and choosing, things are great. Or you might be brand new to this, even considering resilience as a thing you need to invest in. And so for the purposes of today, you can just share some ways you'd like to build resilience into your business and brand. So let's give you a minute to share how you're resilient. And then remember, once you've shared, put that together, think about and rate that resilience. You can do it at the same time if it's easier for you. A 1 being you're at the very beginning, 10, you have lots of robust infrastructure in place. And we hope you're starting to see how each of these points are unique, but they do overlap, right? There is some support being built in just by having this network together.
Great point from Jen. Resilience is being a freelance contractor in the first place. Yep.
Love does give you a lot of choice and flexibility around that. Absolutely. All right, Nicole. She's at 3 or 4. She's at 3 or 4 right now, trying to work on resilience in the sense of creating multiple income streams. Some of these passives so that it frees up time and work toward that sustainability. Love direction on passive income. There's a lot of opportunity around that. And that's a great area to grow into. Things you don't use, things you can set and forget. Oh, thank you here, Dolphin. Resilience, adapting to changes and challenges in my industry, learning how to now, reaching out to podcast hosts, radio shows, group meetings, TV shows, learning how to monetize my skill sets and brand. Needing help with this is okay. That you've had so much volunteer work in the area, so you're learning how to cross over to be a supportive business. Love it. Pitching yourself as a freelance consultant. Taking those learnings from doing something for free and then learning how to get paid for it is a great opportunity. You learn so much in that space. Now you seem to know how to ask for it, but you've shown your value. So by understanding that's a really great transition. It's not easy. All right, John, thank you for sharing on this. 35 years is a long time to be in business, so love that. You guys have a lot of national networks, brands in the industry, but you haven't built out your marketing systems. Yep, you guys were just doing so well on referral. that you haven't needed to, but it sounds like, that, with some of these challenges and some of the competition, COVID, writer strike, you got to find ways to stay top of mind. That is a really great point. A lot of brands feel like things have been coasting. They haven't needed to invest. Resilience is again like the insurance policy, right? It's by having these systems in place, that you have something to fall back on if something happens to one. And I think COVID taught a lot of us that we don't necessarily know what tomorrow is going to bring for us,
Absolutely.
especially the small business.
Thank you all for your participation. We're going to move on to step 5 of our disrupt framework. So this is unconventionality. Unconventionality means the out-of-the-box strategies and tactics that you put into place to achieve your goals.
So here's a great example. The outdoor wear brand Patagonia is one that we love to look at for unconventionality. For example, they ran a huge PR campaign that told their customers, don't buy this jacket. The message encouraged people to consider the effect of consumerism on the environment and only purchase what they need. This is a direct contrast to almost every other apparel brand out there that encourages you to purchase as much as possible. Bundling, putting it all together. Unconventionally for Patagonia really meant doing the exact opposite of everyone else in the industry.
All right, your turn now. How's your brand or business, your nonprofit unconventional? Or how do you want to be unconventional? These could be strategies and tactics they use in something specific, like a campaign that you want to run, similar to Patagonia's Don't Buy This Jacket campaign. Or it could be more about the messaging that you use on your website or in your slogan. There's all kinds of ways to be unconventional. Share in the chat. The name of this disrupt framework came from our own slogan that we create a culture of positive disruption here at Aniricom. So for us, that was definitely a unconventional approach to marketing. And again, you can rate yourself here, 1 being non-existent unconventionality, or 10 being fully unconventional.
Fully unconventional might be our friend John here's video service shooting completely on 8mm. It might be unconventional in the digital age.
I would love to see some of that.
Give you guys another moment here. You guys have been really great with engagement. We hope this is feeling good. There's such a difference between just listening and tying along and actually sharing. It really helps to manifest what you're doing. Putting in writing, sharing with a group, puts that out in the world. These things are that much more likely to move forward because you're doing it. So thank you guys for participating, and we love the energy. Thank you for sharing that, Nicole. Honesty is really tough, and we appreciate that. We understand you're thinking this is an area you can work on, probably at a 2. No problem. When you're at a low level in something, it's the really exciting part. You have a lot of room to make easy changes to start getting you moving. So it's not a bad thing to be at a low level. The journey from 1 to 8 is as difficult, if not, the journey from 8 to 10 is going to be way harder. So how do we just get the shit moving? I love it, John. So you're talking about your competitors here that try to go big as possible, end up with a lot of overhead, and now you guys remain agile. So you work through cycles, while the competition is selling off gear, laying off staff, which never feels good. You guys can remain competitive. Love hearing that. It's not about bulking up the budget. It's about longevity. Oh, great, Jen. So you approach your events and clients from the inside out. Love that. Check in with the desire and drive. Why the why of the event, right? Instead of just putting together the event and asking why. You're not just a cog in the wheel, right? You're really expressing that job. It makes you more valuable, and people that are going to see that love that. Totally with you. Why is huge.
Yeah, you're connecting your story points to your client's story points.
Oh, this is fantastic, Dev here. Creating interactive projects in the last 2 months that lead to a worldwide movement. Wow. Pitch to Sundance the Explorers Club. Very exciting. A lot around really, we've been a lot of hearing people talking about new ways around quantum physics, other ways relating to that. Love that you have the research around it and you've been finding a way to make these discoveries accessible. Super interesting. Can't wait to hear more about this.
Sounds like you're a very high score on unconventionality. Absolutely.
Oh, Jen, one more great point from you here on alignment. Not taking work that isn't aligned with values and goals for the greater good, even. So
Yeah.
we love that. There is so much about this, which is what we're mentioning around our therapist friend and others, that being in alignment is part of what this work's about. You will not be able to be positively disruptive or have it be sustainable if it doesn't align with who you are and doesn't be, and then you're not, makes you not authentic. So really, really love hearing that. So step six kind of goes down a little bit of this road, which is personalization. Now, this is really about your ability to connect in meaningful ways with the people in your audience and your clients, and doing the things that make them feel valued and make them feel seen.
So there's a great story here about personalization from our friends at Coca-Cola. In 2011, Coke launched one of the most successful mass personalization campaigns ever. Their idea was to take the country's 150 most popular first names, nicknames, and terms of affection and paste them onto Coke bottle labels so that people around the world had a personalized experience with the brand. So even at a large, large level, personalization applies.
So for Coca-Cola, they literally got on a first name basis. Pretty unconventional for a multinational, beverage brand. So what are some ways that, big or small, that you can personalize your customer experience meaningfully, intentionally, authentically? Let's brainstorm some ideas, share them in the chat, ask questions, right? Here at Aniricom, we like simple things. We love to send handwritten thank you cards specific to the person, or we give them a gift that's tied to the project we worked on, or we donate to an associated cause. We had a client called Wholesale Gorilla. We donated to a monkey nonprofit or gorilla nonprofit for them. And people really connect to that. It shows you being thoughtful, the same ways you treat your friends, the same ways you date, the same way you want to apply that here in business is important. So look at what you do and rate yourself. How much do you currently personalize customer experiences? 1 for no personalization or 10 for highly personalized? Really hope this is making you guys think and really love the feedback. Yep, personalization from Dove here, learning this area, that asking questions on their needs. Yep, that's fantastic. Having still sent handwritten thank you cards and artwork. Fantastic. Asking questions about the client, asking questions about what makes them tick. Fantastic. Love that. Got it. John, thanks for that. A 6. It's definitely hard when you're working in certain businesses where people might feel like it's more commodity or otherwise. So I think there's a lot there you can think about. Well, we've definitely ideas for you.
Yeah, one thing for video, John, I'm sure you're already doing a lot of this, but like thinking about hospitality when you're on the set. So when you guys are in production, what can you do to make that experience, white glove concierge feeling?
Or other things could be capturing the experience of someone else while you're on set too, while their
B-roll.
cameras are up, capturing the experience of the customer, right? So Nicole here, I'm really a 5. Okay, I can do more, but really try to lean into sending personal cards, having one-on-one conversations. Thank you for your honesty in that. I think we all have this as an area to work on. I know it's really hard to get cards out and you feel like you've done the job, especially at the end of a project. So it's really building in that last win. So you don't end on a whimper. You end on this big, how do you make it a celebration and engagement with it? Jen, great point. You're building a personal relationship with clients for connection. It's hard to keep up with them personalized when you're so busy.
Yeah.
You could do better, Jen. We agree. But the reality around this is it's hard, and a lot of it's hard because we treat it as incidental. All of these things need building into your plan, your calendar, part of building the project, right? The biggest thing around it and why what you'll see from us here is this work is about integrating into your standard operating procedure. So these things that are difficult are great. That's a growth edge, right? Let's focus on those things and how we can go past them.
All right. So this brings us to our 7th and final step, transparency. So while this is about how people can see into your business, the really big goal is fostering trust and credibility. So Zappos, to rebuff e-commerce and warehouse labor horror stories of their competition, they opened up their business to anybody that wanted a tour or desired insight into how they run a department. For them, transparency was literally about taking people into their physical space. So for now, it's your turn. What are ways that you are transparent? Write this down and share in the chat. There's a lot of directions that this could go, from being transparent about your business practices and your values to helping people understand your decision-making process. There's something that we've done a lot of work on at Intercom, and we'll do things like sending our new customers booklets that describe our team culture, posting our vision statements around the office, and so on. Give yourself that score. 1 is no transparent practices, very opaque, or 10 for full transparency.
A really exciting area of transparency that is simplifying your story. When you're speaking the same language and sharing the same intel inside the doors as you do with the people outside, you're not having to remember different stories. There's no cover up. There's no remembering anything. It's very simple, and it makes people feel so much more comfortable when they know what you're doing and how if they want to find out how you get your business done, they can come in and ask.
Another piece to consider is like, where in the process do you share your pricing? And, does this feel like, are you able to mitigate like a sticker shock moment with your customers by being transparent, maybe about the value that you're delivering, or maybe about what it takes to do this work at a high level? So by the time the price is revealed, that transparency has kind of helped soften the blow.
All right, Nicole. So you have Nicole does a lot of having super open conversation at the start of an engagement about how you're going to work together, the systems and expectation setting. Love that. Letting a client know what to expect is tremendous. See, Jen, thank you here. Big on communication. So before you take on a new project, you let clients know what you're working on. So you're very clear on bandwidth and what you have to offer, not taking something on if you don't have the range. And fantastic. Don't oversell, right? There's nothing that's more painful than overselling yourself and not being able to deliver for a client. So putting ourselves in the right, like serving ourselves is a big part of this work. Transparency does a lot to keep you on point. Thank you, John, here. We pride ourselves on being problem solvers. So we're very transparent on if a client may run into a problem with a requested approach versus what we think is best to get the results they really want. Love that. Be transparent. That's why they hired you, right? They're not looking for you to chunk this work out. They hired you as an expert. Don't be afraid to be that expert. So often we see people fall back, let the client drive, and they're stuck saying, I knew it wouldn't go well. Well, there's not much worse to hear than I knew it wouldn't go well, because you had an opportunity to stop it from going poorly. So there's always this chance there. I think there's the power of no is a big part of this too, being able to share. So Jen, love that you ask questions. Interviewing, Dove was sharing that also. The more you talk to the clients, the more you get to know them beyond the scope of what you're doing, just to understand them helps you make better decisions. Oh, great. This is fantastic. For a year, Dove hosted a weekly dolphin talk online and did lots of posts on social media. Got a burnout from life's challenges and dipped into hiding from being overwhelmed. Totally get it. And you recently put yourself out there by having a book signing, trying to reconnect with your audience. Where do you turn this into a business? Yep. No, I totally see that. Part of again, this whole work is baking in a program. Like it's resiliency and sustainability are two big parts of this, right? So when you're doing this right and working the program, you will not burn out. It's intentionally built to stop that. Burnout is from just over delivering. It's giving too much of yourself and not keeping enough time to keep yourself healthy. We really make sure that's programmed into the work we do. Okay. So let's scroll back through the ratings you gave yourself. Where do you have a big difference between where you are now and where you want to be for creating that true, authentic, positive disruption? Let us know where you see the delta. That's the one you want to cross first. And wherever you are, don't take this in the direction of being hard on yourself for not being there already. Remember, positive disruption doesn't happen overnight. It takes planning, intention, building it up brick by brick and layer by layer across each of these steps. Each piece you move forward incrementally adds up. Let's go back 1 second. Hold on. So just let us know where you see the disconnect. If anyone would like that would be great to hear about. And then
All right, so we have time for 1 or 2 quick questions. Does anyone have anything they want to ask? It can be on any aspect of positive disruption, how to get from where you are now to where you want to be. happy to provide some targeted guidance.
If you guys just want to drop a note in the chat if you have a question, we'd love to talk to you right now.
Dove.
Oh, thank you for sharing this one. You're in a 3-month goal setting class for a 3-month period. You still have distance and monetizing the brand. You've got questions and guidance. No, love that. Do you want to jump on anyone want to be on video and ask us a question here? We're happy to have anyone come on with us. Just tell us in chat if you're ready. Deb, cool. Why don't we let you open up here? I'm going to send you a note to unmute. I just gave you the option to unmute. I just sent that over to you.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for being with us.
I was coughing, so but I'm all good. Should I unvideo or just chat?
You're welcome. You're welcome with either way, whatever's comfortable. We just would love to hear your question, and we'll jump in and try to give you an answer.
Okay, so I'm doing this every day kind of plan here. I'll go on a video so we can actually see one another if you can see me. And I have this is I have 2 books. I have like the super objective for my career. Then I have one about a spiritual super objective. And then I have one for like a life thing. So in my life thing, do I want it to be health and wellness? But I really feel like this pressure of like, how do I cross over to take what I spent 35 years giving away, which I loved giving away. I still want to be able to have that feeling of connecting and sharing, but how do I put a price on it? How do I format it? When I did like online virtual dolphin retreats, I didn't know how to market it. I mean, I made social media posts, but it wasn't enough. I didn't get the response that I wanted. And I dislike pushy Instagram posts about buy this, I'm selling this. And I don't want my business to be about that. I want my business to be about connecting with people. So, and making their lives, fuller and like helping them solve problems that, they might, just like I've had, so right now, my game plan is, how about if I share individual animal stories relating to a human problem? And so that's my next kind of work in progress, is to, like, I'm working on a snow leopard, and about that we all need love, and kind of that whole interaction of communication that I have with the snow leopard, and do it in a visual short video and share it. But I still don't know how to put in that monetary piece. And how do I've set up a Patreon page. It's been live for like 5-6 years. I have no
Why don't I jump in here?
subscribers.
I'm gonna try to answer your question a little bit, and let me see what we can do to start. So totally hear you. There's obviously a lot there to unpack, and we know you have a lot of history with it, and we appreciate you sharing. Well, one of the biggest things that I hear is, and something maybe that you I think was more consistent in your writing than when you started sharing with us, is that you have a lot of different irons. There's all these different ways that you're expressing yourself. And I think there's an element where you might want to think about picking the most important thing. If you were to achieve in one area that lights you up, go there. And then it's a measure of not if you build it, they will come. You create a Patreon and no one knows about, it doesn't matter. So the first part is find the alignment of what's that main thing that lights you up, what you're gonna be stoked to do every single day, and you can bring a unique viewpoint on. And then it's to find where those audiences are. And that's the next step. And go speak to them and connect there, and start to make as many connections around that as you can. Start to have the conversations and see what they want out of it. And that would be the recommendation, just from hearing all these great ways you want to output, really putting the blinders on to focus one direction is what we'd recommend with the start.
And one other thing I heard, to piggyback off of what Mike said, it sounds to me like events and being in person with humans is something that really, light you up and will get your message disseminated and allow you to connect with people and see like how that they're actually able to engage with your stories and with the points that you're trying to make. So I would double down on your book signings and going to conferences and trade shows and aligning with other in-person events. I think that's going to be a way to identify some potentially like ambassadors of what you're doing as well.
Perfect. I want to do one more quick question here. John, I saw you had your hand up. You can unmute, sir, and love to hear from you.
There we go. Cool. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so this all makes a lot of sense, but I'm just curious, how much of this is things that you communicate externally and how much of it is internal? For example, if you say to the industry, we're going to disrupt you, there's always going to be pushback. They don't want to be disrupted, or clients aren't necessarily looking for things that are being disruptive. But like if you look at Patagonia, they're not like bagging on the competition. They're just offering maybe a better way to do things, in their viewpoint. So how do you structure this so that it informs how you communicate externally, but it's kind of guiding you internally?
Great question, John. So the quick answer for this is it's about being positively disruptive. The idea of disruption, you think about that little kid in your elementary school class that keeps yelling when the teacher's trying to talk when other students are going. It's not about creating chaos. It's about pushing things forward by pointing out where you're looking to see change and how you are trying to create change. When Jack Johnson is out there talking about how he supports the environment, he is not going after the people that don't. People will change when they are ready to. He is ready to change now. So he's aggressive about how he's doing his change, and he's aggressive about the partners he brings on. And it's be vocal and being public about that decision making. That's the positive disruption. It is not about tearing anyone else down.
Yeah, because like the behind the scenes with someone like Jack Johnson working on single-use plastics initiatives with venues is that they had to convince Pepsi to not sell plastic water bottle drinks at the venues, which is probably the most challenging thing they've had to go up against. So, but they're not leading with that story. They're not leading with like, oh, big, bad, evil Pepsi trying to push plastic water bottles on their fans. They're leading with a solution. Here's something that we can do to give an alternative with a reusable cup program. And we've aligned with the venues and they've agreed to do this. So rather than kind of coming at it from what's wrong with the world, the positive piece of the disruption is here's a solution for what we see as a challenge.
A challenge we see, how we're intending to make change out there, and then regular updates on your process. How are you doing? How is it going? Same way we're talking here. This is your social media content, talking about sharing this process of trying to change the industry. It's hard. Have that conversation. Bring it vocal. Thank you both. We're going to jump in.
Thanks, John.
We're going to jump right in here to a couple next pieces here and let you know how next steps happen. So our goal for you, one, is to take action on this, not leave it sitting on your digital shelf gathering dust.
So let us know in the chat. Do you see how this can start to change your brand and level it up today?
Okay. The only way positive disruption occurs is through focused, intentional action. So what are two things you learned that you want to apply in your business? What actions can you take today to move towards these goals? There's space to record this in your workbook. Don't skip this step. People, and I'm including myself because I'm just as guilty, go through workshops all the time, hear all the ideas, take it all in, and then waste the time they spent by not taking the most important step, committing to an action and writing it down. Don't stop before you've made the commitment to put things into action. We've all heard the studies. When you write a goal down, it's immeasurably more likely to happen. I'd even encourage you to block out a couple hours on your calendar this week, and ideally every week following, to focus on moving your positive disruption goals forward.
So to help you take action even more, we've got a surprise bonus for you, just like we promised at the start of our time together. As we shared in the beginning of the workshop, you'll get this bonus for being here and staying with us. Why? Because we value action takers. Our mission is to create a tidal wave of positive disruptors, and that means we need each of you in action.
So we'd like to help you start by getting a clear roadmap set up. You can book a free 30-minute session, not a sales call. It's literally to help you get your positive disruption in motion. If it makes sense for us to support you more after the call, we can totally discuss that, but not on this call. This 30 minutes is all about your positive disruption, your audit, your roadmap, your next steps. We're dropping the link in the chat. We've set aside 8 slots. So grab yours right now before they all get used up. And feel free to book your 30-minute roadmap session here. Please click on that. We really have to continue the convo.
So the roadmap is definitely a key. Without a map, there's no way to know if you're pointing your efforts in the right direction. Think of all the benefits that could add up for you, your employees, your customers, your profits. If you're not employing the strategies and tactics already, just getting started will go a long way.
The benefits here can go all kinds of directions. We've seen it firsthand. The example we shared earlier of Pro literally exploding sales and growth across the nation. Our friend, the therapist, who flipped the model of her business to make it work better for her own life while seeing more success. Or the countless nonprofits and businesses we've worked with who literally moved the needle on challenges that seemed impossible before they set about creating positive disruption.
So right now, you may have more questions than answers swirling in your head to think about what positive disruption you want to make and how to go about. And that is okay. That is normal. That is typical.
That's why we're here, to help guide you past the maze of questions and make your positive disruption doesn't get stalled out. Make sure that your journey gets started today.
So now we've already shared that you can work with us for free to create your roadmap. And truly, we want you to click that link and get your call booked so you can get this into motion. But you're also maybe wondering, so what happens once it gets the roadmap in place? Well, we see 2 paths. You can take the roadmap and slog away at it yourself, or you can let us support you and cut down the time it takes to go from now to really realizing the positive disruption that you're looking to create.
With us by your side and on your team, you can learn shortcuts that'll save weeks, months, or even years off the time it takes you to achieve these powerful results. Here's the thing. Jacob and I have been doing this work for such a long time, and we've helped hundreds of clients. But we're at a point where we really want to amplify the difference we can make. We really want to speed up our own positive disruption and amplify it. So we sat down one day and thought about how we could achieve this. We realized that if we really wanted to activate thousands of positive disruptors, it can't only be limited to businesses that have big enough marketing budgets. So we're excited to share a new way that Neurocom is offering to support the positive disruptors out there.
Our work is typically what's called done for you. You hire a Neurocom and we bring on a team of creatives, developers, copywriters, photographers, videographers, SEO experts, and advertising specialists, whatever it takes to get your project done. This is the core of our business, and it's of course an option for you.
But we want to open door with more possibilities. So we have a new service that is done with you, meaning we do the teaching and you do the implementing. This is the model where we teach you how to fish instead of doing the fishing for you like we always did before. And it's at a price point that makes it a no-brainer for anyone to get involved, and it makes your shift to positive disruption feel easy. Our new community is called the Brand Lift Society, and it's officially launching March 15th.
This is a community that you'll come together with other change makers to create your positive disruption.
You get ongoing pick your brain support from Jacob and myself inside the group.
And each month we'll bring you trainings, exclusive resources like templates and how-to guides that will help you build the foundation and grow your positive disruption.
Like we talked about earlier, it's not an accident you're here. This is not going to be a fit for everyone, but here's the groups that we know for sure should take part. First, if you've been a client of ours in the past, Brandless Society is where you can take the work we already did with you and keep moving the needle. This is like a monthly booster shot that'll help keep your positive disruption growing strong.
If you're a small and medium-sized business and you're deeply committed to making big moves this year instead of waiting.
If you know that you have to really start differentiating from yourself from competitors in order to have the impact you want.
Or if you're just tired of playing small and really want to serve people, including yourself and your employees, in a bigger way.
Just take a minute to visualize with us here. What if you really put time every single month aside to push forward your positive disruption?
How much of a difference can you make? How much better could you serve people and causes that you're dedicated to impacting?
If you're starting to have the yeah, buts here, we get it. It's normal to want to talk yourself out of change, especially when it's going in a direction you might not know exactly how to get to. There's a few things that will definitely submarine your efforts at creating positive disruption. We see it happen time and time again. So let's take a second to look at the things that get in your way and talk about how we can help you sidestep these landmines.
First, people literally don't know how to start, and they never make it out of the gate.
That's where Brandless Society can help. Every single month, we're going to offer up a new life training that helps you move your positive disruption efforts forward. You won't have to think about the step to take each month. We're going to guide you. You're also going to get support and accountability inside the community to move this forward.
The second reason people fail is that they don't have tools and systems. There's no clear system in place, or if they do have one, it's complex, it stalls out, and the team's trying to implement it. They might learn about a strategy, but don't have the template or know-how that they need to get the thing done.
That's where the Brandless Society resources come into play. You're going to get an exclusive library that accompanies and supplements the trainings we share. That's going to grow every single month. The templates and how-tos will remove the barrier to getting your positive disruption to move forward. Plus, you're going to have all the recordings from trainings and even bonus resources thrown in that'll really help you take your business to the next level and grow your bottom line.
And the third reason people fail is the most heartbreaking, but it's also in some ways the easiest to fix. People fail at creating positive disruption because they don't have the support of peers or professionals like Oniricom on an ongoing basis. They might have people around them who are stuck in past patterns or don't share their vision of positive disruption, making it harder to break free from the status quo. Then what happens is their efforts kind of falter, either because they get caught in their heads and stuck in analysis paralysis, or they don't have someone to turn to for encouragement and support. And it definitely can feel hard at times.
So this is where the Brandless Society comes in. We're here to support each other, to lift each other, to help create a rising tide effect for positive disruption. The community is a place to network with like-minded people, people who share your vision for creating positive disruption. It's a place where you'll get direct support from Jacob and me, and perhaps most important, it's a space where you get to learn from and see what others are doing and be held accountable to your own goals.
So why would you want to join? What is the value? In Brandless Society, you'll get to skip past thousands of hours of guesswork. Mike and I have already done this, gone down false paths, made big mistakes, and we can help you avoid those and shortcut to success.
We can also help you speed up the process. You don't need to wait years to make a positive disruption. It can start today. So raise your hand or give us a yes in the comments if you'd rather not wait to see your vision for positive disruption come to life.
We can also give you the techniques that make your positive disruption more profitable so that you're growing your bottom line right from the start. If you're like most brands, saving time and earning money are two of the most important reasons to invest in a program. Let's talk about what investment would be in Brandless Society. As we said before, this is meant to be an accessible price point to everyone who is looking to make positive disruption.
So here's what you're getting inside the Brandless Society. Starts with live advanced marketing training valued at $6,000 for the year. A private community valued at over $1,800 for the year, and that's an understatement, knowing how powerful networking partnerships can be.
Ongoing support all month long in the group with our feedback and support each step of the way, valued at over $15,000 a year.
And new resources, templates, how-tos that you can put in action immediately to create positive disruption, valued at over $3,000 for the year. We've calculated that total value is over $27,000 in the year. Pretty exciting. But we know that this wouldn't be accessible for some small businesses, nonprofits, and solopreneurs out there. We get it. So we're listing the Brand Lift Society at $147 a month.
But because we really want to get this positive disruption moving, because you're here now, just as we're launching, we're offering this actually at $97 a month as an early adopter rate. If you're ready to really commit to implementing positive disruption, we're also offering a one-time price of $970 for the year, giving 2 months for free. Even better, you can join right now at either level. There's a link in the chat.
We want this to be an absolute no-brainer for you. So we're also going to offer a guarantee. If you implement the training and resources we share, you're going to see results. And if you're not fully satisfied, just let us know in the first 30 days after the launch, and we'll offer you a refund, no questions asked.
We know that this can work for you, just like it does for our other clients, like Elizabeth here, who defied all kinds of industry norms to self-produce her own music and become the #1 Christmas artist in the world.
Incredible story. Or like a local nonprofit, the Opera in Santa Barbara, who are keeping this centuries-old art form vital and relevant.
Here's a commonly asked question. What if I don't know where to start? We don't want this to get in your way.
Again, you all have access to this free 30-minute session, whether or not you think Brandless Society is for you. Don't pass this up. As our client Joe from American DIY shared, this call is literally what set the stage for years of growth they are still thriving on today.
Another common question is, how can I make time for this? Again, we're here for you. When you join, you'll receive a powerful calendar to help you map out exactly how you'll fit this into your schedule.
So just to recap, we're going to help you get clear on your roadmap, give you the planning tools you need to set time aside for the work, and give you an earlier adopter rate.
We want to throw in one more bonus here just to help you get over the hump of getting started. We value action takers. So in our experience, the ones who jump in immediately and get to work are the ones who see their marketing work through and have a big payoff and create massive positive disruption. That's why we're offering an extra incentive. If you sign up before midnight Pacific time tonight, we will shift your 30-minute consult into a 60-minute working session where we not only lay out your roadmap, but also roll up our sleeves together and start the implementation, digging in behind the scenes to move work forward with you.
So again, here's everything you're getting. Over $27 in value and built-in bonuses to help you get past your blockers and get in action starting now, starting today. Your price is just $97 a month or $9.70 per year. This is less than $3 a day. When you think about all the benefits you'll get, isn't $2 and some change every day worth it? And remember, there's no risk. You have a 30-day guarantee.
So this is it. It's your time to make a choice. Join us in the Brandless Society to dramatically change the trajectory of 2024. As you consider whether or not Brandlift is for you, and it may not be, not everyone is ready for massive progress. Not everyone is open or at the place for true transformative work. As you consider, think for a moment about how it would feel to be more positively disruptive version of you and your brand in 2024. We invite you to come along on this journey with us to create an incredibly positive ripple effect starting today. You can start for just $97. Or really commit and lean into your positive disruption and sign up for the year with 2 months free.
We know that people find value for years and decades with us, like local nonprofit Community Environmental Council, who are turning back the tide on climate change by leading all sorts of positive disruption campaigns on the Central Coast. So signing up for a year is really the most powerful option.
And as we wrap up here, we just want to encourage you to dream a little bit. What can we accomplish together if you get started today? What if in a week from now, you had a clear vision, an actual roadmap in your hand for what you needed to do to create your positive disruption? You had your live session, you set aside time for taking action needed, and even met with us to start implementing the roadmap.
So if you're ready, if you feel something inside that says this is your time, go ahead and get signed up. Join us in the Brandless Society, and let's make this next year more supportive, more productive, more full of accountability and positive disruption than any of us can ever imagine.
Thank you all.